Hello. I don't know what just happened. Internet just took an absolute donker on itself. But I don't see myself live right now. What's going on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm gonna assume we can hear me. Nice. Well, we're probably gonna lose some people from that, but that's okay. Hopefully they find their way home. Let me pop the chat out real quick. Okie dokie. We are back. I don't know why my internet did that. It's literally weather is fine. Cool. Okay. I also run some haste enablers in here. I just thought that would be a good idea so we could use our commander the turn it comes out so we don't have to like telegraph the whole play to everybody. We can just like drop it and swing with it. Let me know if 7's too many, not enough. Hi there. Could Glasses of Urza work for looking at a hand pre-combat? Look at target player's hand. I mean, yeah, it could definitely work. If this isn't the deck for it, what is? I guess is my question. Put some dope glasses in there. Why not? I lost my glasses today. Haste enablers are also really important if you want to do extra combat, since the creatures you steal won't be able to attack on subsequent attack steps without haste. Big brain, LJL. LJL is always coming in with the big brain. Okay, so we got some bouncers, we got some extra combaters, we got some haste enablers, we got the whole control package, the bounce package, sack outlet package, ways to look at people's hands, a little exchange package, which I think is very cool now. Best thing about Glasses of Urza is that it says player, not opponent. You can look at your own hand. Yeah, just in response, I'm going to take a little gander real quick. Ooh, better than I thought. Now that I'm taking a look at it through Urza's glasses, dude, I like my hand a little bit better. Okay. I already like that deck a lot more. That's already giving me a lot of ideas. I want to show you this. I want to show you guys this token deck because I actually think it's pretty good. I'm gonna definitely make a video about it in the future. But if you guys have any update suggestions for it, let me know because it's already pretty strong. I think for like a bracket too, just like moderately powerful deck. But it's based around Sarah Farron, 1 a green and a white, 2/2. The first legendary spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 2 or more other legendary creatures, you may transform her. And she has the same thing on the backside, except she's a legendary artifact now. And she also has legendary creatures you control get +2/+2. So this is normally a Legends Matter deck. So you just run like legendary tribal, just like all the historic stuff, all the Legends Matter stuff, all your favorite legendaries, have them come out for cheap. Bada da do. What I did here. Oh, link. Thank you. Thank you. Boop, 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 boop. Unpin. Go away. Go away, message. Okay, so that is the right one. Pin. There we go. So what I did was plug in a token deck into this. So we run all of the legends. So like we have Anthem legends. So like we have Suki, other creatures you control get +1/+1. Prava, other tokens you control get +1/+4. Toby gives all your tokens flying. Rosie can dish out 1/1 counters to all your creatures. Trostani gives all your creatures +1/+1. Tyvar can give your whole board and a +1/+1. Ruxa gives all your tokens 1/1 and like unblockability. So all those are legends. All those also play into the whole token generation thing, which, let me scroll down here because there's a lot. Yeah, 21 legends that make tokens. We got Maha, landfall, make tokens. Kadira, deal damage, make tokens. Kino, whenever you make tokens, make an additional 1/1 frog. Brigide, makes you a ton of mana, makes you a 1/1 when it comes out. Tauren, whenever you cast a creature, make a 1/1. Lena, create a 1/1, because keep in mind, with our commander, the first legend we cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. So a lot of these that aren't normally that playable are actually really good, like Lena. So Lena in this deck is actually a 4-drop. So in this deck, she's 2 and 2 white, 3/3. When she enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 soldier for each non-token creature you control. Sacrifice Lena to give all creatures with power less than Lena indestructible until end of turn. So she protects our tokens, and she makes a ton of tokens. She'll come out for 4. So Lena sees a lot of play in Winota. Oh, I bet. She seems great. Cheater into play. Or you got something like as simple as, let's see, Prava in this deck comes out for 1 white. So Prava is a 1 white, 1/4 that gives all your creatures +1/+4. That seems pretty insane. Farmer Cotton, you can just play for 1 green, 1 white, and then just get 2 1/1s because the -2 cost reduction will reduce his X cost. God Eternal Oketra comes out for 3 mana. Galta and Marwyn come out for 5. Yeah, you can just see how like a lot of these coming out for how cheap they come out can easily like jumpstart a token engine very, very quickly. And then you just plug in like a ramp that's also legendaries and like protection spells that are also, or like board protection that's also legendaries, enders that are not necessarily legendaries, but one of them is. Card draw that's legend. There's just so much you can do, and then rushing it out for 2 less with your commander is like absolutely nuts. I want to playtest it really quick because I actually really, really do like this deck. Go deal another hand. Like almost identical hands. That was weird. I need a keepable one here. Sure. Playtest. I was gonna say anything with more than 3 lands we'll pretty much keep because all we're trying to do is play Sarah turn 4 or turn 3, and then turn 4 something crazy. So now I was thinking about running like Elvish Mystics and stuff in our mana ramp slots just so we could get out Sarah turn 2 more easily. I don't know how worth it that is. So that's something that I'm curious about what you guys think. Because that's just something I'm not sure about. So we'll pass back around, play a land. We'll play Phineas the Archer. And then we'll pass back around, play our land, play our commander, Sarah. We'll swing at somebody for 2 with Phineas, dude. And put a 1/1 counter on. What's it put a 1/1 counter on? That's a token. Okay, so nothing right now. Pass back around. Boop. Draw. Okay, so check this out. Now we can play Maha. We're not going to play our land yet, obviously. We're going to play Maha for 3 because she costs 2 less because of Sarah. Then we'll play our land for turn, and that'll make us a 1/1 human soldier. Or just a human, I think. Is it a human soldier? Human warrior. Interesting. Okay. And other creatures we control get +1/+1. So we got a 3/3 Phineas, 3/3 commander, 2/2 soldier. And then we can pass back around. We can play Alice Louveli for 1. And now our second spell costs 2 less to cast. So we can go ahead and chain that into Perry Brown, which gives the first historic spell we cast each turn. Not historic, convoke. So you see where we're going with this. You know what I mean? You can kind of do some cool stuff. Now you can play like Arasta, dude. You can tap Phineas to help you play for Arasta. And she also costs 2 less because of our Sarah. Boom. Now our second spell costs 2 less because of Alice. Boom, boom, boom. Well, I guess we could play Toski instead of Araska, so then we could get in some damage and do some draw cards. But still, you get what I'm going for. It's an interesting deck. I actually really, really like this build. This is something that I didn't expect to like this much. I see Leonore, I'm already hooked. I see you invested into some protection. If we put Monk Gyatso and then cast the Airbender creature for free. Monk Gyatso. What does that do? 3 and a white, 3/3. Whenever another creature you control becomes the target of a spell or ability, you may airbend that creature. I don't know how much they're getting targeted by a spell or ability, though. I do have protection, but it's board wide. It's like sack this creature to give your whole board indestructible type stuff. Oh, but it's like protection. Because you can do that when other people do it to your stuff, too. Ooh. Yeah, and then the first spell you cast each turn costs 2 with the airbend, but since it costs 2 less with our commander, it'll be free? Wow. Yeah, that's some spicy tech. I really like that. That's definitely getting a spot in here. Do you have Gandalf the White? I did, but he was like $10, so I took him out of here. Yeah, he's $8. He just like didn't quite make the budget, but he's another card that I'm like, they might have to they might have to both make the cut. This might have to just be one of the more higher end price decks. Torsten's only 5? Hell yeah. Torsten. I'm bad with names. I'm sure that's something I already have. Torsten. I don't know. Oh, chat's way deeper than I thought it was. What do you think about Email from the new Strixhaven? I don't know. Emil Vastlin's Roamer. 2 and a green, 3/3. Creatures you control with 1/1 counters on them have trample. Pay 4 and a green, tap it, create a 0/0 fractal, put X 1/1 counters on it, where X is the number of differently named lands you control. His ability is very expensive. I like the fact that he'll be a 1 green 3/3 in this deck, which I think is pretty cool. The ability is just very expensive. I'm not a huge fan. I personally think 1 mana dorks to get commander out turn 2 are going to be pretty important. It feels like the type of deck that will really start going once the commander is in play, so the sooner the better. Okay, in my brain, I guess I was like, I don't want too many non-legendary creatures to clunk up the deck. But then you know what I mean. Like that makes sense to run the elves to get the turn. So which elves do we got here? We got Elvish Mystic. We got Lanalore elves. What else we got here, boys? Arbor Elf. Avacyn's Pilgrim. Karametra could be pretty insane for 3 mana. That's true. Wait a second, that's true. Yeah, 3 mana Karametra. Yeah, that's pretty good. Did you check out Gandalf the White? I did. I think I'm going to put him in here. That's pretty good. It's also a maze, so you don't always have to airbend. Oh, with the Monk Gyatso. Yeah, that is really good. A rip. Torsten, founder of Benalia. Seven for a 7/7. When it enters the battlefield, reveal the top 7 cards of your library. Put any number of creatures and/or land cards from them into your hand. The rest on the bottom. When it dies, create 7 1/1 white soldiers. And this will come out for 5 mana. So it's a 5-drop 7/7 that card advantages you, card fixes you, and then makes a ton of tokens when it dies. Yeah, I like that. We'll always recommend Tashar for historic. Oh yeah, Tashar's the reanimator, or I always say reanimator like that. Reanimator. The reanimator one. Return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard into play. How many of those do I run? Not a lot, if I'm being honest. Like there's 6, 7, 8. There's 8, 9. There's like probably like 15 3 or less creatures in here. Tashar's a maybe. I gotta figure out. We'll have to figure out how many of those we're running. Ellen Hardbreeze or Harbreeze. Three and a white, 2/4. Tap it. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of tokens you created this turn. Put one of those cards into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom. I don't hate that. It comes out for 2 in this deck. So it's a 2 mana 2/4 that just like hard card fixes you. That's actually fine in this deck. Avacyn's Pilgrim. Tegan Jovanka could be decent. 2 and a white. Whenever you attack, target attacking historic creature gets +1/+1 and gains indestructible until end of turn. I was looking at her. I just didn't know if she fit the theme well enough. I wanted like the token theme to shine through, and then the legendary theme to kind of just take a back burner and just like add to the go wide strategy, and then when our commander flips, our legends also become threats along with our tokens. So that's another one I'm gonna have to consider. I'm not sure. Torsten puts all creatures and lands from the top 7 into your hand, not just one. Oh, damn. Yeah, for 5 mana, that's definitely going in. Displaced dinosaurs? What the hell? 5 and 2 green for a 7/7. As a historic spell enters the battlefield under your control, it becomes a 7/7 dinosaur in addition to its other types. It's not bad. That's going to have to come out for 7 mana, though, and I don't know if that's worth almost $6 in the deck's budget. I'm not sure. Possibly. Devenant Trapper? 2 and a white, 2/3/2. Whenever you cast a historic spell, tap target creature an opponent controls. My brain's going back and forth on this one because I'm like, tapping stuff's great because we're trying to bash face, but then it's like, how many times do we have to tap stuff with this for it to be worth it? Jamie McCrimmon? 2 and a green, 2/2. Trample, whenever you cast a historic spell, Jamie McCrimmon gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is that spell's mana value. That coming out for 1 green is pretty good. I just don't know if it plays into the token strategy enough for me. Jamie's kind of a cat that only cares about himself. You know what I mean? Jamie's kind of a self-centered cat. Queen Elena. A white and 2 green, a star, power is equal to the number of creatures you control. If one or more creature tokens you control would be created, create that many +1. This is good, but the only reason I wouldn't run it is because I'm getting no benefit from my commander. You know what I mean? I'm just going to always have to play this for 3 mana, and I want to be able to get some like cost reduction off the legends I'm playing. So I'm not the biggest fan. Oh, I didn't pay attention to the token theme. Was more interested in the legendary theme. LOL. Yeah, we're leaning into tokens. So all those stuff we have that makes tokens are all legends, and we do have some legend stuff like Piri Brown, but only because she gives our stuff Convoke, our historic stuff, and that like plays into the whole token strategy. All the protection stuff is like legends that also just like play into the go wide token strategy. Benny Brax would be dummy easy to cast in this deck if it wasn't 14 freaking bucks. Yeah, I know, dude. We won in here so quick, and then I was like, oh, there's most of the budget. I gotta get rid of that. Is Catilda Dawnheart Prime a possibility for extra mana? She's the green and white one. Ah, man, I don't know. I don't like not getting a benefit off of the reduction. Yeah, and it's only human creatures we control. There's a lot of humans in this deck, but I don't think enough to justify it. And I just don't like not getting the reduction. Killer Service. That's an interesting suggestion. Yeah, but did you consider Catilda has protection from werewolves? Shit, it's going back in. 2 and a green enchantment. When Killer Service enters the battlefield, create a number of food tokens equal to the number of opponents you you have. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 2 and sacrifice a token. If you do, create a 4/4 rhino. So it just slowly starts turning all my tokens into 4/4 rhinos. That's not bad. I don't know how into it I am, but I don't hate it. I remember my cousin played this against me once, and it was pretty good. Diadrine might be cool in here. Diadrine. X, a green and a white 0/1 trample. It enters the battlefield with a number of 1/1 counters on it equal to the amount of mana you spent to cast it. When you attack, you may remove a 1/1 counter from each of 2 target creatures you control to draw a card and make a 2/2 robot. You have to remove them from 2, though. If it was only remove 2 counters, this would be great. But you have to remove a 1/1 counter from 2 creatures, which I just don't think I have enough guaranteed ways to put 1/1 counters on stuff. Most of it's like anthem effects that legendaries have. Speaking of rhinos, Loyal Guardian. Oh, is that the one, like, if you control your commander, do whatever? At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. It's not bad. The only thing is I'm going to have to pay this for 5, and I don't want to. Like, when you're looking at other stuff that's like... Let me just, like, find an example. When you're looking at other stuff like Tyvar coming out for 2 green, or like Tristani coming out for 3 mana, or Ruxa coming out for 2 green, giving your whole thing, all your tokens Anthem effect, a 1/1, and then also giving them unblockable. It's like, I don't want to pay 5 mana for something. You know what I mean in this deck? I want to get some budget deals on the Legends. It's a bit of a weird card, but Selvella, Eager Trailblazer, I think could be incredible in this deck. I love it in Leonore. It's a beast. Selvella. This is the oh, I'm typing that into chat. This is like the OG Selesnya one, right? No, this is the new one. This is the Thunder Junction one, isn't it? It is. 2 a green and a white, 4/5 vigilance. When you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 red mercenary. Love this card already. This is great in here. This coming out for 2 mana is nuts. In this deck, this is 2 mana for a 4/5 vigilance that gives you mercenaries when you cast shit and gives you mana by tapping it. Yeah, sure. Oh, this might be one of my favorite cards in the deck now. Love that. That's really good. Liquid Malice. Oh, snap. The boy's back. That's right, Liquid Malice. We are back. It's essentially Torsten with a shit ton of mana attached. Yeah. That's really good. I like that a lot. Damn. That's a good-ass card. Okay, we got some good suggestions for this deck. Let's move on to another one. I will figure out what to take out there. Okay, so this is something I wanted to do. I wanted to make, and I don't think I can do bracket 4. Like, realistically, bracket 4 is going to be more powerful than this deck going to be for $50. I think bracket 3, maybe it can be bracket 4. Maybe my bracket system's all off in my brain. But I want the draw of this video to be building a somewhat more powerful deck for $50. Like a bracket 3 or bracket 4 deck. Someone in the Discord on the little challenge tab recommended, hey, I challenge you to build a bracket 3 or bracket 4 deck for a budget. So the commander I thought of was Azuri, because I think Azuri has a very powerful effect. I think running a bunch of like small evasive creatures is going to be super budget friendly for us, not cost a lot at all. And there's just some really powerful things you can do in this list, I think, on a budget. And it comes in at 49.63 right now as it stands. But yeah, I think this deck's pretty sick. Let me post a link for you guys really quick. I thought about Mikaeus LJL, the white one that taps for counters. I'm not sold on it. It's one of my favorite cards. I'm just not 100% sold on it in the deck yet. So again, this is going to be a $50 budget. And there's just some cool stuff you can do. There's 2 clone effects you can run on a super budget, Ember Island Production and Chameleon, that can both copy Azuri, so we can get another copy of Azuri, get double the experience counters. So I guess I should probably read Azuri to explain that. 2 a blue and a green, 3/3. Whenever a creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you get an experience counter. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put X 1/1 counters on another target creature you control, where X the number of experience counters you have. So play small creatures, get experience counters, put more 1/1 counters on your small creatures. Is pretty much what we're going for. So, one second. Blighted Agent in this deck is gross, and I agree. I think it's in here. Yep, Blighted Agent. We got Blighted Agent, we've got Invisible Stalker, we've got Ghostly Pilferer, we've got all these little, like, Azure Beastbinder, Mistcloaked Herald, Shoreline Rooter, Ginger Brew, Thrumming Bird, all this different stuff that's going to be super small, super evasive, throw a bunch of counters on it. Bash Face. very aggressively. Like Cold Ice Selkie, deal damage, draw that many cards. Island Walk, yeah, sure, I'll throw a bunch of 1/1 counters on that. Seems fine. We got Enders with stuff like Iridescent Hornbeetle to make a ton of 1/1 counter or 1/1 beetles. Cultivator of Blades to throw a bunch of 1/1 counters on, or Wild Beastmaster to buff our whole board, or Tendershoot Dryad to just start spitting out a ton of 1/1 Saprolings and then give them all 2/2 once we have the city's blessing. So that's kind of what we're going for here. I guess my question first off is it possible to do a bracket 4 of this deck? Second question, is it possible to do a bracket 4 of this deck on $50 budget? Third question, if it has to be bracket 3, how do we make that happen? I think we have a pretty good start here. The deck feels okay. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? We just need to, like, hit the mana ramp and stuff, which I guess we're really not. How much mana ramp do we run? We run 11. Like, it seems like we should be hitting it. A Fathom Mage. I think we have Fathom Mage, if I'm not mistaken. If we don't, definitely needs to go in here. Fathom Mage we have. Do you have the Ixalan Flip Land? It's like winged something. It's got to be this one. 1, a green and a blue legendary enchantment at the beginning of combat on your turn. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Then if that creature has 3 or more 1/1 counters on it, you may transform this, and then it taps for mana, or you can pay 1 and an is it. Target creature you control gains flying and +X, where X is its power. Yeah, that's good. That's definitely one that would probably fit in here nicely. Oh, Pensive Professor. That's a great one. I do not think I had that in here. I don't. Pensive Professor is great. Oh, yeah. Check this girl out in here, dude. Tifa Lockhart. 1 and a green, 1/2 trample. Whenever a land enters, double her power. Yeah, start throwing 1/1 counters on her with our commander. I feel like that's a pretty good way to start winning the game. Tetsuko Umezawa. Is that the... She's the 1 or less power, though, right? That's her whole thing? It's taking forever to add that. Jeez. Pensive Professor would only ever draw you 1. No, yeah, but it would be a draw. It'd be a draw 1 every turn, which I'm fine with. A little draw 1 engine. That's fine with me. What is going on? Tetsuko does not want to be added. Yeah, creatures you control with power or toughness 1 or less. Yeah, but if we're putting 1/1 counters on stuff with our commander, then we won't have many creatures with 1 power. Have you considered Evolution Sage? I think I did consider it. It did not make the cut, though. And I think that was because of the budget. $2, though. I think that should probably be able to make the cut. I love adding Stolen Identity to decks with Invisible Stalker. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature, Cipher. That's not bad. We run a bunch of evasive stuff, so we'd be able to like cipher that onto any of this shit and have this stuff connect. Not a bad win con, but if we're going for bracket 3 or 4, though, I don't think that makes the cut. Because I want this to be like a bracket 3-4 deck. I always think Essior is a good add. 2 mana evasive creature that gives your commander ward 3. That sounds great. 1 a blue, 1/3 flying. Spells your opponent's cast. Yeah, that's not bad in here at all. Protects our commander, and then we can also throw counters on it. I like that. Chasm Skulker or Toothy? Ooh, Chasm Skulker might not be bad in here. Just start spamming counters on it. Toothy, I think, is a little too expensive to make the cut. Canker Bloom, Containment Grafter for some Proliferate to pump the experience counters. Ooh, that's a good point. Canker Bloom's one that is always going to be good for me. Containment Grafter. Contaminant Grafter. 4 and a green, 5/5, trample, toxic 1. Whenever one or more creatures you control deals damage to a player, proliferate at the beginning of your end step. Yeah, that's insane in here. That's a $12 card, though. That does not make the budget. Chasm Skulker is especially fun since it'll give you a shit ton of experience counters if it does. If it dies. Oh, yeah. Damned if you do, damned if you don't with that. Does token creation count into the commander triggers? It does. It's just a creature entering with a 1 or 2 or less power. How many curiosity type effects do we have? I didn't run, I think, any, which I probably should. Well, I guess if you're considering stuff like Starwinder curiosity effects, then we run Starwinder, Reconnaissance Mission, Grazilax, and Toski. Dreamtide Whale might be worth it. That's the one that has to leave, right? Yeah, Vanishing 2 whenever you cast a second spell each turn. Oh! Whenever a player. That seems pretty good. Yeah, I like that. That's actually fire in here. Oh, what about the dude that gives you 0/1 elementals equal to your devotion to blue? He might be pretty good in here because then you just get a bunch of tokens like for very cheap mana to just spam a ton of experience counters onto you quickly. But do you think that guy would be worth it in here? Master of Waves, yes. Yeah, 3 and a blue, 2/1 protection from red. Elemental creatures you control get 1/1. When it enters, you get a 1/0 elemental for your devotion to blue. I just figure so many of my early game evasive creatures are blue that like I will like probably have 4 or 5 devotion to blue out at any given time, and then just paying 4 mana to get 6 experience counters. That seems pretty good. Tainted Observer. 1 a blue and a green. 2/3 flying. Toxic 1. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 2 if you do proliferate. That's kind of gross. I actually like that. This seems a little too similar to Rafine. Nah, Rafine's got like heavy discard sub themes and shit going on, and even draw sub themes. This one's just like put massive counters on shit. Mash face, which I guess Rafine does the counter thing as well, but this is just really leaning into it. Plus Simic, dude. Warden of the Grove is a card I just added to my own Missouri deck yesterday. Haven't gotten to gaming with it, but it feels like it'll be sweet. Warden of the Grove. Oh, yeah, Warden of the Grove's great. Oh, so here's the thing. We actually don't run effects like Warden of the Grove because it causes stuff to enter with those counters, which means they will most of the time enter bigger than 2, which means we won't get experience counters. There was another card I was going to run in here that's like a classic Simic card that like Master Biomancer, I think. But then I was reading someone's Azuri list and they were like, do not run Master Biomancer because it makes things enter bigger than 2. And I was like, I never even thought about that. Almost missed the stream, but you didn't. You could save some budget and also lean into the strat by dropping an offer you can't refuse and counterspell for Reject Imperfection and what's the other one? Forgot the name. An offer you can't. That's true. That actually will save me a few dollars right there. Reject. Imperfection. 1 and 2 blue, counter target spell. If that spell's mana value was 3 or less, proliferate. That's actually pretty good with the deck's theme. Forgot the name. If only Metastatic Evangel was on these colors. Yeah, dude. That would be crazy in here. Topiary Lecturer. Topiary Lecturer. 2 and a green, 1/2 increment. Add an amount of green equal to this creature's power. That's great. What the hell? That's a great, like, budget, whatever that other one's called. There's another mana dork that's like this, but it's like $4 or $5. Serum Snap? Or Serum Snare? Serum Snare. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand if the permanent was mana value 3 or less, proliferate. Yeah, those both seem great, actually. Fuel for the Cause is also the other one, but that I run in my Atraxa deck for proliferate. That's a 4-drop, though, isn't it? Yeah, 4 is just a little steep for me. For a counterspell. That's why I didn't have it in the list before. I knew there was a reason I was initially hesitant. Void Slime is good Simic counterspell. We are going for like bracket 3 or 4, so yeah, no, that's just good. That's just, you're right. That's just good. Lulu Stern Guardian is one that I'm not sure about in a bracket 3 or 4. Just because she seems a little slow. 3 mana and then 4 mana to put into her to proliferate. I'll consider her, though. Park Heights Maverick is going back in, then. I thought I had Park Heights Maverick in here. Yeah, Park Heights Maverick. Hell yeah, it's in here. Hell yeah. Unnatural Restoration actually might be decent since you don't have much recursion. Unnatural Restoration. One and a green. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Proliferate. Yeah, all these little, like, Brothers War. Is that what this set was? Whatever set this was. Little proliferate spells. These are great. Evolutionary Witness, I think we put in here. Oh, no, Evolutionary Sage we put in here. Oh, yeah. Whenever 1/1 counters get put on it, we return stuff from our graveyard. That's nuts in here. If 4's too much, there's Reject Imperfection. Oh, we already had one of those. Yeah, Reject Imperfection's great. Fangs of Caledonia. Let's go with some Fangs of K. 1 and a green, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, then double the number of 1/1 counters on each creature that had a 1/1 counter put on it this way. Oh, but it's got Overload. You're not doubling the 1/1 counters on that thing, though. You're just doubling the number of 1/1 counters put on it this way. No, double the number of 1/1 counters on each creature that had a 1/1 counter put on it this way. Yeah, board wide 1/1 counter doubler. That's real good. Evolutionary Witness might be good. That's really good. Vexing Radgal? What the hell is that? One in a blue, 1/2 flying. When it deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 rad counters if they don't have any rad counters. Otherwise, proliferate. I'm not a huge fan of that one. All will be one. Oh, that was the set. Yeah, that's a great set. I high-key think it would be better to play more bursty spells that make a bunch of 1/1 tokens to instantly get an XP count than to slowly build it because Azuri has to be on the field. The gain, Azuri is 4. As soon as he's targeted, you're starting to pay 6 for him. I agree. I think that still playing these evasive early game creatures are going to be good so we can throw the 1/1 counters on him. But I think running some more stuff that spits out counters like Iridescent Horn Beetle, Tender Shoot Dryad, is definitely something we need to add in here. That's why I was suggesting to add the Master of the Waves. Because it didn't seem that bad to play like early game body into our commander, into Master of Waves for like 4 1/0s, and then just like plus Master of Waves, you know what I mean? So we're getting like 5 experience counters off that. Chasm Skulker can give us a bunch. So I agree. I think adding some more effects like that are definitely going to be where this is at. Oh wait, with the endurability from Warden of the Grove, you can choose to make a 2/2 token instead of putting the 1/1 counters on the creature when they enter, right? Oh, I can. And then just get some more tokens off that. I like that a lot, actually. Katara Waterbending Master, isn't she worth like a lot of money? Or is that not the right Katara? Yeah, she's 13. We're going for $50 on this one. I think Katara's pretty expensive. Does he have Thirsting Roots? Thirsting Roots. One green. Search your library for a basic land card, put it into your hand, then shuffle, or proliferate. That's not terrible. My G, what's up, Rush? Toph Earthbending Master. She's $44. Holy shit. Me and my playgroup are doing a $100 Secret Santa. That should be exciting. That sounds super exciting. Hell yeah. Scurry Oak. Yeah, Scurry Oak's great. Scurry Oak's a great token option. Sylvan Offering and Pest Infestation. Choose an opponent. You and that opponent each create an XX Tree Folk. Choose an opponent. You and that opponent each create X1/1 Green Elf for your tokens. That one's a maybe. Pest Infestation, I think, is definitely going to go in here. Yeah, Pest Infestation seems great. Sylvan Offering, I'm not a huge fan of giving my opponent stuff, but it is a good way to get our commander's count up really high. Just got here, but draw options. As it stands, we've got like Inspiring Call to draw a card for each 1/1 counter on our creature. Or Cold-Eyed Selkie, Hunter's Insight to like draw us cards equal to the combat damage dealt, because we're going to be spitting out a ton of 1/1 counters on our creature. And our creatures, a lot of them are evasive. Stuff like Reconnaissance Mission or Grizzleaxe or Toski, when they deal damage, draw cards. Return of the Wild Speaker to draw a card equal to the number of... draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-humans we control. So, Fathom Mage. So, as it stands, we got some pretty decent card draw. Damn, I did not realize those Avatar cards got so expensive. Oh my god, yeah, they're insane. Oka, Traveling Merchant, Fathom Mage, Stocking the Pantry, Deep Glow Skate. I think Oka is going to actually be good in here to remove some counters and then draw cards. Fathom Mage we've got in here. Stocking the Pantry, I'm not a huge fan of. But I've never really played with it. Just reading it, I'm not a huge fan of it, but maybe that changes today. Deep Glow Skate, doubling all our counters is going to be good. Inspiring Call we have in here. Bread for the Hunt. I'm more of a sourdough guy, so if you could give me that, that'd be great. 1, a green and a blue. Whatever creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. That's great. That's another really good card advantage spell. Contentious Plan, probably not worth since it's 2 mana draw a card, proliferate, basically just replaces itself. Yeah, Contentious Plan's one of those interesting ones I'm not sure about. I run that in one of my other decks, and I'm honestly considering getting rid of it. We got some good suggestions here, though, damn. Okay. We're going to move on to the next deck. We're going through decks tonight, baby. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, Starfield Vocalist to do double experience counters is actually kind of big brain. Wait, did you have Fair for Young You? What the hell does that mean? No. What does that do? 6 and a green, 4/7. When it enters, create a number of 1/1 saplings equal to the number of counters among creatures target player controls. Number of counters. Jeez. That's a shit ton of 1/1s. No, your tie with Keen deck is coming up though shortly. I'm not sure if it's gonna be this Friday, but it is coming up. I remember seeing it. What else do we got? If anything's jumping out to anybody, let me know. Oh, here. Okay, this is an interesting idea. This is like a bracket 2. Don't know if you missed the part. He can tap the double counters on a creature. Oh yeah, the big tree folk guy. I was just blown away with how many 1/1s we were gonna get from that counterpart. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, so this is like a low bracket 2, like fun idea for a deck. So the title is This Haste Commander is actually a blink deck. So the commander is Nariv, Heart of the Storm, 1 red, white, black, 4/5 flying. If a creature you control that entered the battlefield would deal damage, it deals twice that much damage instead. So when you read this, you go, that's obviously a haste commander. It's a commander where you run a bunch of haste bodies, and they enter and they bash face, and they have haste, so they deal double damage. Sweet. Cool. It's like all the other Mardu haste commanders. What I thought was there's a lot of creatures that enter and deal direct damage. So like Flame Tongue Kavu, when it enters, deal 4 damage to target creature. Grasping Thrall, deal 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. My favorite is Farragax Giant, 4 and a red, 3/3, tribute 2. So when it enters, you can either have it have 2 1/1 counters on it. As this creature enters, an opponent of your choice may place 2 1/1 counters on it. When it enters the battlefield, if the tribute wasn't paid, it does 5 damage to each opponent, which with our commander is going to be 10 damage to each opponent. So they're probably going to pay the tribute. But if you want to like make a deal, you can be like, oh hey, let's do this little like political deal, dude. Let everybody get hit for 10. We can take out that guy next turn. I just think it's a lot of potential damage on a card where if you could just be like pick the right opponent, you can just get 10 damage on everybody. Grasping Thralls is going to be doing 4 damage to everybody. Colossus is going to be doing 6 damage to each opponent, and you gain 3. I just think it's an interesting idea because you have a lot of, like, you have stuff like Thundermaw Hellkite or stuff like what's the other one? Warstorm Surge, where like stuff enters and it does damage like equal to its power. Thundermaw Hellkite doesn't do that. What's the dragon I'm thinking of? Where it ETBs and it does damage equal to its power. Either way, stuff like that. I think would be pretty good in this deck. And then you just run blink effects. So like you have your commander out, drop one of these big things that does direct damage, and then blink those big things that do direct damage, and then they'll do direct damage again. But since they're dealing damage the turn they come out from their ETBs, they'll be doing double from Nariv. I think it's interesting. It's a little blink Mardu deck. Pretty cool idea. Yeah, I like this one. I think this is definitely a direction people aren't going to go with Nariv that I think people should. Especially if you're just playing casual, I think this is very fun. Like, Fear of Burning Alive does 4 damage to each opponent. Yeah, 8 damage to each opponent for 6 mana. That's not bad. Like Hellhole Rats, dude. When it comes into play, target player discards a card, and then it deals damage equal to that card's converted mana cost. So if someone discards the wrong card, that's going to do double damage to that person. Red Dragon, deal 8 damage to each opponent when it enters. Fury, deal 8 damage divided. Overlord, deal 8 damage to any target. Terror of the Peaks, no Inferno Titan. Oh, hell yeah, I need both of those. Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. Terror of the Peaks was the card I was thinking of. Thank you. Inferno Titan, I definitely need. Inferno Titan's great in here. Terror of the Peaks is expensive as hell. I don't know if that's going to make the cut, but... Surely some Tanuk Steadfast second. Two and two red, 3/5. How is that a Terror of the Peaks? What the hell is going on with that? Other creatures you control have haste. Artifact cards and red creature cards in your hand have warp 2 and a red. I mean, yeah. You can just keep warping them over and over and over again. That's fantastic in here. It's in there already. Oh, Inferno Titan is? Oh, god damn, I don't recognize it with that art at all. That's not my Inferno Titan. You can also combo this with red cards that make token copies that get sacked on end phase, or Thion, I think is his name. Oh, yeah, that's a great angle. I like that a lot. Love that. And then just start making token copies of those bad motherfuckers each turn. That's awesome. Love that. That's a great angle in here. Terror of the Peaks does damage, not the creature entering. Is super good because I didn't want to spend $26 anyway. Sonic Shrieker is kind of expensive mana-wise, but not a bad ad for the deck. This deck's just going for like fun, casual stuff, so like I think it's fine if it's not the best. Do I already have Sonic Shrieker in here? I already have Sonic Shrieker. Yeah, I think that's great. Looking back at the old Marty mechanic of Dash is a good place to look. Flame Rush Rider and Riders of Rohan from Lord of the Rings would be good. When Flame Rush Riders attacks, create a token that's a copy of another target attacking creature that's tapped and attacking. That seems great in here because you can just keep dashing it over and over and again to make the copies of the stuff that's ETBing and dealing damage. Love that. Riders of Rohan. 4/4 enters the battlefield. Create 2/2 red human creature tokens with trample and haste. Dash. I'm not leaning too heavily into the creatures themselves with dash being the theme. I like the creatures that enter and deal damage directly being the theme, but Flame Rush also plays into that theme too. I like that a lot. Ilarg would be let you cheat some creatures from your hand and also trigger your commander. How the hell do you spell that guy's name? Isn't it ILL? I can't find that motherfucker anyway. Never mind, I saw it in there. Urbraska's Forge. And I don't want to lean too heavily into like the haste dealing damage thing that you normally would do with this deck. I want to lean into the fact that we're playing the creatures that ETB and deal damage. Maybe you were thinking of Bogarden Hellkite? Six and 2 red, 5/5 flash, flying. When it enters, it deals 5 damage divided. Yeah, that's actually fine in here. An 8 mana, deal 10 divided, 5/5. Sure. Warstorm Surge. That's the one I needed. Master Multiplied seems fun and casual. The legend rule doesn't apply to creature tokens you control. Triggered abilities you control don't cause you to sacrifice or exile creature tokens you control. Yeah, if we get enough of those token effects, I just don't know if we're going to have enough token effects to lean into the master like that. A Nathomancer? Okay, that's not at all what I typed in. One black red 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage to target player equal to the number of non-basic lands that player controls. Yuck. That's really good in here. Big damage. Ilharg. There we go. Yeah, $8. A little too expensive for my taste. Calamity Galloping Inferno. I think I already have. No, I don't. No, no. Oh, he was in here, but I took him out apparently. Oh, I already have a token copy section. So I guess I was already thinking that a little bit. I don't remember adding that, but sure. Jax is the troublemaker. Like that one. Twin Flame. I think Twin Flame's worth some money now, isn't it? No, it's 77 cents. Never mind. Combustible Gearhulk would be pretty good with the high mana value of the deck. True, because it could do some big damage. Master is the token effect himself with Myriad. Yeah, that just seems kind of random in the deck to me, though. Sunspine Lynx. What do you do? 2 and 2 red, 5/4. Players can't gain life. Damage can't be prevented. When it enters, it deals damage to each player equal to the number of non-basic lands that player controls. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Sunspine Lynx is sick. Yeah, that's disgusting in here. Okay, so this deck totally is a vibe. Like, now that you guys are pointing out these other effects, like, I think the whole Nariv, Blink, and then playing these creatures, that's totally a vibe. Goblin Chain Whirler. Three red is steep in this deck. 3/3 first strike. When it enters the battlefield, it does 1 damage to each opponent and each creature that player controls. Yeah, 3 red's just way too steep for that, though. New Strixhaven card called Daydreaming is super underrated. Or Daydream. Whoa. Card one more counter on it. Flash. That's nuts. It's a very good card. It actually might be able to master Gatso or whatever his name was from the last deck. What was his name? That you recommended for the guy that airbends when stuff is targeted. That might be pretty good in here too, because if someone tries to get rid of our dragons and our big stuff that enters and does damage, we can just airbend it. Yeah, Monk Gatsu. That'd be pretty good in here too. What about something like Grave Upheaval for some early mana fixing and late game reanimation? Four black red, put target creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste, basic land cycling. It's not terrible. It's a little slow. 6 is a lot. Just to get something that's already died. I'll consider it. I'm not sure. Elena Kezig Trapper? Is that the girl that makes a bunch of red mana? Yeah. Add an amount of red mana equal to the greatest power among creatures that entered the battlefield this turn, like with all the blinking and stuff. That seems 5 mana is steep again, but we're going casual with this deck, so I think that's fine. Callous Sellsword. Enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it for each creature that died under your control this turn, or you can sacrifice. Or no. Yeah, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to any target, then sacrifice it. That's not bad, because you could have one of these big things enter, deal its damage, then fling it at someone, and also deal double. No, target creature does damage equal to its power. Yeah. That's another considering. That could be pretty good. Noise Marine? The hell is that? 4 and a red, 3/2 Cascade. When Noise Marine enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to the number of spells you've cast this turn to any target. I'm not going to be playing enough spells for that to actually do any damage, unfortunately. That's a cool-ass card, though. Another round for a win con? Oh, yeah, blink everything a shit ton. That seems really good in this deck. Chaos Maw is bracket 2 for sure. Chaos Maw. 5 and 2 red, 6/6. When it enters the battlefield, it does 3 damage to each other creature. That's going to wipe our board, though. And then we can't blink anything anymore. If it did it to opponent's creatures, I'd definitely run it. Pandemonium might be good. What'd I do? Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, that creature's controller may have it deal damage equal to its power to target creature or play. Yeah, that's great. It's just a second War Storm. I get way more off that. Nahiri's Resolve is a nuts blink enchantment. Oh, yeah, the Anthem that blinks. That seems great. Kragenwick Cremator? Just trust the Shaman. Two and 2 red, 5/4. When it comes into play, discard a card at random. If you discarded a creature card this way, it deals damage equal to that card's power to target player. That could be good, but then it's like, how are we getting back that thing? And then discarding at random's risky. I'm not sure about that one. Go Ninja Go would fit in here. Go Ninja Go. Red, white, choose one or both, exile target creature, then return it, or Go Ninja Go deals damage equal to the greatest power among creatures you control to target creature and opponent controls. Yeah, that seems great. I like that. Pandemonium also works for your opponent's creatures, by the way. Yeah, that's fine. We get way more out of that. No. You just gotta trust the Shaman, man. It'll be alright. That's like my friend played the... What's his name? It's this giant red creature. Like, it was an old banger in EDH. You, like, choose permanents from an opponent's field at random, and then if you hit a non-land, you get to keep going. I don't know, it's just like something Tyrant or something like that. But he gets so lucky with that card. It's insane. Again, added a ton of good stuff here. Plarg? Oh, nice. We've been on here for a little over an hour. Cool. Demon Lord Belzenlock? And the damage is doubled to you. Think of the value. No, not for this deck. I was talking about your friend's deck. Well, I can't remember what it is. You, like, choose permanents at random from an opponent's field. I mean, like, type creature. Color red. Random. Tyrant of Discord. This guy. He gets lucky with this card all the time and, like, ends up wiping my whole fucking deck. Magmatic Galleon. Just 5 damage to target creature and opponent control. Yeah, but it's not a creature when it enters, though. Unfortunately, my commander only lets creatures deal double damage. Wait, I remember there being a 5-mana red enchantment that makes a copy of a creature you cast. You're running enough dragons. I think Dragon Tempest is actually kind of sick. Whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield, it gains haste. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to any target, where X is the number of dragons you control. Ooh! Yeah, I like that in here. Molten Echoes sounds like the right card. It's $11. Choose a creature type. When a creature enters that chosen type, create a token. That's really good with the dragons as well, though. Jeez. Electropotence. Two in a red. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 2 in a red. If you do, that creature deals damage equal to its power to any target player. That's not bad with the blink, though. Like, when I cast a creature, 3 is going to be a lot to pay extra. But when I start blinking stuff late game, because we're kind of low power too with this deck. Like, where the games are going to go long. Like, I think that's actually fine. Oh, I think it was double visions, but I forgot about the instant sorcery stipulation. That's fair. Molten Echoes is pretty good with the dragons anyway. Explosive Prodigy is kind of like a 2-mana FTK. One and a red 1/1. When this creature enters, it deals X damage to target creature and opponent controls, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. It's just a little 6 damage for 2 mana. Just a little removal spell. It's not bad. Flame Shadow Conjuring. Flame Shadow Conjuring. 3 and a red. Whenever a non-token creature enters, you may pay 1 red. If you do, make a copy of it against haste. Exile it at the end of turn. That's really good. Damn. That's definitely going in here. Morning Tide's Light seems kind of nuts in this deck. What does that do? 3 and a white. Exile any number of creatures at the beginning of the next end step. Return those creatures to the battlefield until your next. Yeah, that's insane. That just wins the game in this deck a lot of the time. Oh, dude, Fanatic of freaking Mogus. Deals damage, you go to your devotion to red. Sure. With all the dragons and shit. Magmatic Galleon makes treasures for what your deck already does. Oh, sorry, I probably missed that part. Whenever one or more creatures your opponent's controls are dealt excess non-combat creature, create a treasure token. Yeah, a treasure token, though. I don't know if that's good enough. That Tyrant card would be gross in the new Ashling deck. Evoke it for 4 and get the enters trigger, then get the trigger again after you have to sack it and the token enters. That does seem good. Not a suggestion, but I found just found dual casting and it could look good for a future list. Did anyone suggest Mirror March? Mirror March. 5 and a red. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, flip a coin. If you win the flip, create a token that's a copy of those creatures. Wait. Flip a coin until you lose a flip for each coin you win. But it got. Yeah, but you could win none, and you paid 6 mana to do nothing. That one's too risky. That one's a little too risky for me. Oh, Lazelle's Acrobatics could be fantastic in this deck. Again, just blinking my full board in this deck seems fucking gross. Come on, it's supposed to be casual. That's fair. That's fair. Mirror March is fun. It's definitely casual. So I'll put it back in you. You have convinced me. It's a cool deck. 130 cards. You, again, have suggested enough cards for the deck, for sure. Okay, we're going to do one more, and I'm going to hop off. Let me make a good one here. Oh, okay, this one's fun. I like this deck a lot. I just bought Donatello. This is not the Donatello I bought. I bought the cool Donatello. Yeah, that one. Yeah. You've got it set to D for Dumbo on his belt, dude. Let me post this in the chat really quick. Okay. So, the whole idea of this deck is RC cars, okay? I want the idea to be that Donatello is like controlling these vehicles from afar. You don't need to crew shit in this deck. You will just use Donatello to make your vehicles permanent 3/3s that have all the abilities your vehicle has. So let's read Donatello real quick. 3 in a blue, 3/5. You can tap him. Put 3/1/1 counters on target artifact you control. If that artifact isn't a creature, it becomes a 0/0 robot creature in addition to its other types. Activate only as a sorcery. Whenever an artifact you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, if it had counters on it, move those counters onto another creature you control. So the idea here is we are going to play vehicles. So we have 15 vehicles in the deck. So we play something like Cargo Ship. It's a little mana dork. You can use it to play more vehicles. It has flying and vigilance at 2/3. You use Donatello to put 3/1/1 counters on Cargo Ship. You don't ever have to crew Cargo Ship again. It's permanently a 3/3 with all that shit. Like a mole module. Put 3/1/1 counters on it. Now it's a 3/3 menace with that really good ability, and you never have to crew it again. It's just permanently that. And you can put more counters on it later. Donatello seems sick as an incubation deck, random thought. Ooh, if there was enough incubation stuff, he would be really cool. Incubation's actually a really cool angle. But yeah, we're going for like RC cars. So we're just gonna make all of these vehicles 3/3s with Donatellos and not have to worry about crewing them, so that we can actually have room in the deck to run some like other cool stuff, like a big card draw package, like token engines like Sharding Sphinx, Thopter Fabricator, Psy, efficient construction. All these not only to like not be necessarily win conditions, but to be like annoying token outlets, but they also help to crew these vehicles. If there's any vehicles that aren't getting 3/3 counters at the time, we can use those little guys to help crew these. And then also when we crew the vehicles, they will be animated into their actual power and toughness, and then they will have... Actually, I'm not sure if that's true. Explain to me how that works, chat. Because because Donatello sets their power and toughness to 0/0, so I think even if I crew them, their power and toughness will still be 0/0 with 3/1/1 counters on them. Well, there is Chrome Host Seed Shark. True. Definitely, there's definitely some incubation in blue. So Donatello is playing Hot Wheels. Nice. Exactly, dude. Donatello playing with Hot Wheels is the exact vibe I want for this deck. I believe it would become a 0/0 permanently. That's what I was thinking. I think he actually overrides the power and toughness thing. So yeah, we're turning all of our vehicles into 3/3s, potentially bigger, with Donatello, and then not having to worry about crewing them. So we don't actually have to run a package of cards to crew in this deck necessarily. We just run a small token package, because Donatello is going to be doing the crew work. So any suggestions here? Chrome Host Seed Shark does seem great since vehicles will trigger it. Ooh. I didn't even think about that because they are non-creatures. That actually is really cool in here. I like that. I played this deck once. It got destroyed. I was playing against like bracket 3 stuff. And this is easily like not bracket 1. It might be close because it's very gimmicky. But it's definitely like low bracket 2. It's just trying to do a fun thing. Oh, we also have this little indestructible package, Nutrient Block, Darksteel Ignite, and Darksteel Relic, because giving these 3/1/1 counters just makes them really annoying blockers and attackers with Donatello, and I like that, so we did it. Wow, so now the LJL mentions it. LJL's got that angle. He's got that little spice that he adds to stuff where I go, hold on a second. I didn't think about it like that. And you can't tell me you don't think that way either, 3-Hoen. When you're playing against LJL, I know there's moments where you're like, damn, now this guy's good. Damn, he's good. Wait, what? Curse Emergent Intelligence might be cool draw. Emergent Intelligence. What the hell is this? I don't think I've ever heard of this card. Curie Emergent Intelligence. 1 in a blue, 1/3. When Curie Emergent Intelligence deals combat damage to a player, draw cards equal to its base power. That's kind of weird. Exile another non-token artifact creature you control. Curie becomes a copy of the exiled creature, except it has when this creature does combat damage to a player, draw cards equal to its base power. Yeah, but the base power is going to be 0 with Donatello for the copy thing. So I don't think that would work the way I want it to. Nah, bro. 3-Ho and Rex me every game. Dude, same. He's got insane decks, dude. Him and Guara always busting out the wildest builds. From Fallout, yeah. I believe the base power will be the actual power of the vehicle since that's what it sees in exile. Oh. I didn't think about that because it has to exile the thing. Yeah, but then you permanently exile that thing. It sucks that it doesn't come back when Curie leaves. Yeah, if it came back, I would love that. Emery? Emery's not bad. I have Emery. I was going to say. You said it, and then I was like, I think I might have Emery in here. Mu Yan Ling seems pretty good, giving all my vehicles flying, making me a little vehicle. Drawing cards. Patriarch Seal, just to like have an untap for my commander. I don't know if I need to run more untap stuff for my commander so we can use it multiple times on a turn. I don't think that's going to be necessary. I think we're going to probably be doing like Donatello, play commander, active, or play a vehicle, activate Donatello. Next turn, play a vehicle, activate Donatello. Next turn, play a vehicle. I think that's probably what's going to be going on most games. So I don't know how necessarily it is to have like untap stuff. Necron Monolith is my favorite vehicle. Don't know if it's good here though. Necron Monolith. 7 for a 7/7 flying indestructible. When it attacks, mill 3 cards for each creature card milled this way. Yeah. Most of my deck's vehicles and stuff, so I don't think the creature cards milled is going to be great. That is a cool ass vehicle, though. Mecha Titan Core, so Donatello can play with Voltron. Robot, not the archetype. Oh, true. He can literally play with the robot Voltron. I like Mecha Titan Core. How do you spell it? Mecha Titan? Am I not spelling this right? Oh, it's Mech Titan. I don't know why I keep saying Mecha Titan. Mech Titan Core. That's going in there. Night Scythe also might be decent. Night Scythe. I don't think I've ever heard of this one either. Oh, I had it in here apparently. Oh, I did. Night Scythe, yeah. Make a little Necron thing when it enters. It's not terrible. Turn it into a 3/3 flying permanently. You're netting like 2 power off of it. It's pretty good. Reaver Titan is another busted vehicle. Is it Reaver Titan worth some money now though? Yeah, $22. It's ridiculous. Should not be worth that much money. When, I mean, Night Paladin does the same thing, but just smaller. It's crazy. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, literally. That is far too much cash for me. Any more suggestions before we hop out of here, boys? I gotta get some dinner in me. And I gotta watch some videos explaining backrooms because I want to know more. It's the protection and the stats that make Reaver Titan insane. It's so hard to get rid of. Oh yeah, I forgot Reaver Titan has some crazy. Doesn't he have like, what does he have? Ward? Oh no, it says protection from mana value, like all removal. Ugh, yikes! It's so gross. Yeah, Nautiloid ship was in here, but it's a little expensive. Yeah, 13. It's too pricey for this. It's already at $116 though. What's making it cost that much? Oh, Imposter Mech $7. Yeah. It's already kind of a pricey boy. I kind of like this water bending scroll. If you're in mono blue, I think it's not bad. If you're in like a casual build. Surge Hacker Mech, I think I have. Let me make sure. I don't. Should have. Yeah, I definitely need Surge Hacker Mac. I don't know how that's not in here. Weatherlight completed. Two for a 5/5 flying as long as Weatherlight completed has 4 more Phyresis counters on it. It's a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. Whenever a creature you control dies, put a Phyresis counter on Phyrexian, whatever. Then draw a card if it has 7 or more Phyresis counters on it. If it doesn't, scry 1. That's pretty good. Just to make a 3/3 and just chill and give you value? That seems fine. Aether Sphere Harvester? Three for a 3/5 flying. When it enters, you get 2 energy. Pay 1 energy. It gains lifelink until end of turn. Crew. Nah. That one's not good enough for me. Unctus Grand Metatech. One and 2 blue. Whenever a blue creature or other blue creatures you control have, whenever this creature becomes tapped, draw a card. Other artifact creatures you control have +1/+1. Until end of turn, target creature control becomes a blue artifact in addition to other types. I'm not sold on that one either. Wait a second. Why haven't we thought about spacecraft yet? There was a couple spacecrafts I was thinking about. They just like don't get their good abilities if you animate them like vehicles do. You still have to like give them the counters and stuff. Unctus Grand Unk. The Grand Unk. How about ways to untap Donnie? That's kind of what I was asking about. We run Patriarch Seal, but I didn't know if we needed more ways to untap Donnie because I think the gameplay loop, because this is probably going to be a low power deck, is just going to be play Donnie, play vehicle, tap Donnie, get the vehicle animated, and then next turn do the same thing. I don't know how many turns we're actually going to be playing multiple vehicles to need to untap Donnie. I'm just not sure if we're going to need to do that. Sting. Oh yeah, Sting seems pretty... Sting seems actually really good. Because we can just like start making things huge with Donnie. And we don't have to like devote a bunch of our resources to being like, oh, on our turn we're gonna tap him, then untap him, then tap him, then untap him. It's just like, nah, attach Sting to Donnie. Donnie's gonna permanently have the ability to just make things. No, Donnie's ability is only sorcery speed though. So we're not gonna use Sting. Dawnsire and Uthros look like they can still be effective. Dawnsire. 5 for a station. Tap another creature you control, put charge counter sequel. Whenever you attack, Dawnsire deals a 100 damage to up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. Still not... That's not that useful to me though, right? Like, because I'll just make him a 0/0 when put 3/1/1 counters on it. But you don't need this thing to be animated to get the 100 damage thing. It just does that, even if it's... It only does that at 10 plus counters. So you still need to go through all the station counters to even get it to any of that point. Yeah, you still have to get it at 10 and 20 counters to actually do anything with it. Uthros? Someone just did something. Someone subscribed. I can't read that name, but thank you. It's so tiny on my screen for some reason. Sting is such a busted card. It's very good. Chakram Retriever. $6, damn. Whenever you cast a spell during your turn, untap target creature. I don't mind stuff like that. I like the little engines that untap. I don't think we need to run stuff that's like, tap this creature to untap another creature. I don't think we really need to run stuff like that. But stuff like Chakram Retriever and whatever that other one was that we put in here that untap stuff, I like those. I think that's great. Oh, yeah, you can't station it with itself. That's lame. That would have been sick. Alright. It's 10, boys. I'm gonna hop off here. Get some dinner in me before I crash. I hope these decks looked interesting because these are going to be some upcoming decks on the channel, like way in the future once we get them really ironed out. Again, first video back is going to be Thursday at 4. So 4 p.m. this Thursday. Watch out for the video. That's Eastern Standard Time. All right. Thank you guys. See you, LJL, Riki Maru, Kush. See you later, Kush. The Red Cabbage. I was making sure I get everybody that I can see here. Christian Primus. Moonities. Thank you guys all for stopping out. And yeah, have a good night, guys. Appreciate you. Check out the video Thursday.